before the video starts. Like nobody is subscribed, so please subscribe. Thank you. Alright, what's up guys? It's your boy Dr. Large, and we're here for our long one today. We have every G archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now we're going to start this off pretty plainly with Gadget. A lot of you will probably remember this from the NR Festival, where this was one of the best decks. And it's for good reason it was the best deck. However, generally Gadgets, I put them C. Obviously, Gold, Silver Gadget are a lot better than Gadgets as a deck. Gold, Silver Gadget, very useful in any machine deck that uses level 4 monsters. So I think back to things like ABC, where they were a staple. However, generally, no, they're not great. Yeah, not much more I can really add to that. No, that's Gagaga, not Gogogo. Gagaga, specifically Gagaga, I have to give at least like a B. Don't really want to give them an A because I know there are a lot of. No, I'm gonna give them an A. Gagaga is a lot more playable than any of the other onomatopoeia archetypes. You know, like Gogogo, Dododo, Zubababa, right? Gagaga. Well, it's the main one, obviously, because Gagaga Magician was the main one from those archetypes in the anime. And obviously, Konami and Yu-Gi-Oh! Loves to represent their anime. So, it's pretty playable. They got a few main deck monsters. They're going to draw 2, if I remember correctly. So, it's a pretty good deck. I would recommend just playing Onomatopoeia as a whole, rather than just Gagaga. But, it's pretty good. Gaia, that's a B deck. I believe that you get some kind of solo mode with them. I don't think they have their own solo mode. I think they're part of the Duel Challenges one. Because I remember trying to play this deck and I remember it being awfully difficult. It's an alright deck. Its gimmick's not fantastic. Generally, it's not fantastic. Put it that way. But yeah, it's a deck, certainly. It's fusion deck. They have got a couple good cards, which I was really speculating that there would be more to use with them outside of the archetype, but I was wrong. It's a shame. I know it's an anime favorite deck, so if you're a fan of the anime, go ahead, try it. I'll tell you now, it's not amazing. Galaxy. It would be remiss of me not to give it S or A tier. And looking at the rest of the list, I'm thinking A. Bear in mind, I'm kind of including Photon in here as well, because Galaxy and Photon combined for the Galaxy Eyes archetype, they all kind of mix in together. So I'm going to include them under the Galaxy specifically, because it's Galaxy Eyes, Photon, Dragon. So, this deck actually has a lot of potential. It can play through hand traps. It can OTK, it can put out negates. It's a solid deck. Genuinely, it's a solid deck. Would I say it's better than things on this list like Grass, Gouki, Generaider? No, I definitely wouldn't. But I have to give it its props. It's good. It does what it wants to, and if this looks like a deck that interests you at all, I would recommend it. It's probably a bit expensive. I don't know exactly how much or how many URs and SRs would be in a deck list, because I'm not a Galaxy Eyes expert, but I can tell you it's probably worth giving a go. Now we have Geargia. Now, for those of you who play the story mode, you'll know that this is the goodest boy. This is the best mate in the game. Flat out, this is the best mate in Master Duel. However, the deck itself I have to go see. All I remember really is that I got annoyed that the actual Gigiano, or whatever that part of the archetype's called, are level 3, and then Geargia is level 4. Was kind of a pain, but it's not a bad archetype, I'll tell you that. It's not bad. All I really remember is that you used to be able to do Gear control using things like Pulse Mines and the level 4s where they were flip monsters. Only really in Duel Links. Probably in real Yu-Gi-Oh! when they came out, but they just don't have the speed nowadays. Gem, it's Gem Knights and the like. Yeah, I have to put Gem Knights at A. It's a fan favorite deck as well, but Gem Knights, they've got their very consistent FTK. They do an awful lot. They're kind of scary, honestly. Gotta say, if you're a Gem Knight player, you'd be rejoicing nowadays. We have Brilliant Fusion, I believe, in Master Duel, which is one of their best cards. They've got a lot of fusion monsters. They can do a lot. Genuinely, it's not a bad deck. It's a lot better than a lot of the others on this list. Generator S tier. This deck, it's way too easy to fit into anything. Obviously, you've probably seen this mixed in with Numeron countless times. But Generator, I have to say, it's not a bad deck. It's genuinely not bad. Is it what I would call a fun deck? No. It's literally activate a field spell and you have a negate. Not fun to me, but here we are. It's a good deck. I can't deny that. Genex F. Literally the only reason anyone remembers this deck is for Genex ally Birdman. And that's because Birdman is used in the most obscure FTKs ever, so he has to be limited to one. I play him in dangers because he bounces a danger back to the hand. You can activate it again. But no, it's awful deck. I genuinely don't even know what it does. Don't bother with this deck. And this is another deck I know people like, and I'm going to annoy someone by putting this in C tier. What even are their names? Ghostrick, that's it. Yeah, Ghostricks. They're not great. It's a flip deck, and the gimmick is flipping your opponent's monsters down so you can attack directly over them. They have a built-in win condition with one of their XCs. I remember that. But you never use Ghostrick cards for that. You use Phantom Knights to do that. So I don't really include that FTK as a part of it because it's not really a Ghostrick FTK. Ghostricks are kind of just annoying. They're just difficult to get rid of, and they're not fun. Gimmick Puppets, I'll also be putting in C. I don't even remember how you play Gimmick Puppets specifically. All I remember is they have their one Xyz monster focused around putting up tokens or whatever to instantly win the duel, and they've got a lot of Xyz because they were an anime archetype, I believe. I mean, it's one of those decks. If you like the art style, you can try it out, but I wouldn't recommend it for anyone actually just wanting to find a good deck or a fun deck. I wouldn't really bother. It's not fantastic. Gishki. I have to put B because if nothing else with Gishki, we have incantations nowadays. We also have Drytron. I haven't tried Drytron Gishki. That could be interesting. But Gishki pretty much focuses around the idea of water ritual monsters. That's literally its gimmick. It's got 3 ritual spells, I believe. 2 of them being pretty bad. But what you need to remember about this deck is 2 of the ritual monsters. Kraken, which literally just discards 2 cards from your opponent's hand. Why? That's broken. And the other one, which I believe is Mind August, which targets 5 cards in your graveyard and shuffles them into the deck. Now, because these cards are at 3, you might be realizing, wait, that sounds like an infinite loop. And you're right, it is. Which is why this deck is at least B, because it has some powerful cards in it. Glacial Beast F. These cards do not link up in any way. It is barely a deck. Just the fact it has 3 or 4 cards, I had to put it on here. But this is not a real deck. Don't play this, it is awful. Glad Beasts I'll put A. Glad Beasts, their primary focus always was the battle phase. You attack an opponent's monster. If the Gladiator Beast lived, you tag it out, summon a different one from the deck, and then they get effects when they're summoned from the deck by Gladiator Beast. Nowadays, it is all about getting Tamer Editor, which just summons a negate from the extra deck for free. Why? Who said that was a good idea? Obviously, the deck isn't broken. Would I say it's on the level of Gagaga? Yes. Would I say it's on the level of Generaider? Probably slightly below, but it's definitely above Gishki and Gaia. So I think it has to be A tier, but it's in the low A tier. Goblins are F tier. It's not a coherent strategy. Like, they have a lot of cards, but the deck isn't coherent. So I have to give it F tier. Because at least these decks, they're coherent in what they want to do. Not very good at it, but they're coherent. Sometimes what they're coherent in isn't good, but they are coherent. Same with Gogogo. Gogogo doesn't really do a whole lot. It's another onomatopoeia deck, but I'm not including it as part of onomatopoeia. I'm including it for purely what it is. And purely what it is bad. Gogogo don't do a whole lot. I hate to tell you this to people who love the anime, but they don't do a whole lot. And again, another F tier deck. Thankfully, I think this is the last one. Gorgonic. It's 3 cards. Why? I thought this was actually like an interesting gimmick. It's level 3 rock monsters. But it's all based around this one Xyz monster. And there are only 2 main deck monsters. Why? This deck actually had like some potential to be kind of interesting. You know, the Xyz monster to memory is actually kind of good. But it's a shame. Gouki, I have to put in the SD here. Gouki is absolutely phenomenal. Would I recommend you playing it in this format? Yes, actually I genuinely would. Gouki, you can put out your own towers. I think you can make 2 of them, maybe 3 if you're lucky in a turn. And I think between the 2 of those, you have game on board. Very, 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 very solid deck. Genuinely recommend it. I don't know the old combos for the deck personally, but I have to say, genuinely give it a go. Goyo. This isn't really a playable deck. I'll tell you now, it's not. This isn't really a playable deck. And I really want to put it in F tier. Because it's exclusively an extra deck archetype. No, I should. I was going to put it in C because at least the monsters have a coherent strategy of taking your opponent's monsters. Goyo Emperor, which requires 2 Earth Warrior Synchro monsters. Which, by the way, it's actually not that difficult to make. Because of Goyo Defender, but Goyo Defender saw tons of play already anyway. Yeah, Goyo, their coherent strategy is taking your opponent's monsters after they destroy them. Guardian being the best one, being so good they had to errata it to make it not as good. However, the deck isn't playable on its own. You have to play something else to support it, which is a shame. That grass S tier, easy. My favorite deck of all time. There are so many different things you can do with grass. Issue, it can be a bit inconsistent. I'll admit that. You can only play 6 copies of grass with Left Arm Offering and then grass itself. But the payoff when you activate grass is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Definitely recommend it, though the deck is expensive. You have to be playing 60 cards to play grass. And if you play against someone else who's playing grass, oh boy, you're going to have some fun. Gravekeepers up at B. Not just because B was lacking archetypes, but because like Gravekeepers can do some decent stuff. They've got Necro Valley, and Necro Valley is a very solid field spell. Literally just turns off the graveyard. Amazing. Genuinely. Great deck. Not great. It's on the level of Gishki and Gaia. They have a coherent strategy. A lot of their coherent strategy is a bit old. But you know, they've got their fusion monster. They can do their things. Gives some respect to the deck, genuinely. Ghostrick have an OTK that I don't really care much for. Other than that, they're like a flip floating deck. They're not great. It's wind psychics. That's kind of it. They're more coherent than everything in F tier. They have a win condition. So it's just their win condition isn't very good. So that's why I put them in with the C archetypes. And that's it. That's every G archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel ranked. Again, I've been saying it in all my videos recently. Make sure you're subscribed because I could really do with some, you know, some people sticking around nowadays. We're currently at 57 subscribers, I would love to see that number go up. If we could hit like 100 before like June, that would be amazing. But obviously, if we could hit it before like October, if we can hit it before I've done YouTube for a year, I would love that. However, I recognize that's not entirely possible. So we can hope. We can hope. Thank you guys for watching now, and everyone who's been watching all my other videos as well. Mad respect to you. Big props. Hope you've been enjoying. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, share with a friend, whatever. Just have fun, bro. Have fun, bro. Side note, I forgot Gradle. Gradle would be in the C tier. Thank you.